columnist. Mark, you alongside Marcus Ashworth have written a great column today on the politics in Europe. I want to begin, though, on what you've done with Italy and what you're looking for more specifically. Just walk us through, Mark, what's going to happen through this week and why it's so important.
So Italy's had 3 votes on constitutional reform, which it passed, and they were confidence votes in the government. Tomorrow, though, there's a secret vote where the legislators don't have to say which side they're voting for. The change is designed basically to favour coalition governments going forward. It's been viewed by the 5-star anti-European movement as being against them. There's a chance that the government could fall over this. If it loses the vote tomorrow, there are legislators saying that the Prime Minister Gentiloni will have to go. So you could have a risk that the government falls in Italy over this constitutional reform. We've seen this before in Italy. We're seeing it again right now.
Mark, so far, markets in Europe have been incredibly resilient to any kind of political fracture, whether it's Spain or the recent election in Germany. Should markets be a little bit more focused on what's about to happen, more specifically in Italy?
Well, we got over the election in France earlier this year with Emmanuel Macron not only winning the election but taking control of his parliament with a substantial majority. So that was kind of the big speed bump that people were fearful of. With that out of the way, we look to be free and clear. But, you know, the German election, the AfD did well. Angela Merkel didn't do so well. You've got the situation in Spain where Rajoy has kind of delayed some of the tension by telling the Catalonians they have to tell him by Monday whether they've declared independence. This weekend we've got elections in Austria where the populist party, the Freedom Party, which is very nationalist in its outlook, may well gain some control in a coalition there. And so the skies are darkening politically over Europe. Investors have kind of... Well, the French election gave people heart that populism was off the table here. I think there's a risk that we might see it rear its ugly head again.
Mark, just a final note on the ECB. The politics is messy, but growth looks pretty solid, at least compared to what we've seen in previous years. How does the ECB approach that kind of dilemma they've got on the table at the moment?
We saw great industrial production figures today, and the economy is definitely growing. If you look at charts showing how economists have changed their outlook for growth this year, next year and the year after, it's a steady upward movement from the bottom left to the top right. The ECB is going to take its foot off the accelerator, there's no question about that, but it is still adding to the balance sheet, and it has been explicit in saying it's not going to raise interest rates until well after the end of quantitative easing. So it's still on track to ease off some of the stimulus, but it's not putting the brakes on anytime soon.